Hello and welcome to a Reddit Dota 2 League Week 2 official league match. This is No Right Turn up against SAD. They didn't set their team name, so I'm not quite sure what that stands for. That's unfortunate. Vibes are on for terrible damage, and we're inside the draft. Already underway. Nick's Assassin first up, Bat Rider. No surprises there. Alchemist, a little unusual, has been on the rise, though, in the professional scene, so no surprise seeing him pop up a little more, but I haven't really seen him in the top 4 pick ban stage really anytime recently. But we'll wait on this last ban. Not immediately banging out that one like the first 3. There is some question here. Io still in the pool, Lifestealer still in the pool, Darkseer. Which one of these do you want? Like, what ones do you want to give up? What do you really not want to be against? And they're gonna say Io, just don't want to deal with that global presence. So, first pick goes to Sad, captained by CVAC, handling the drafting as well. And we'll see what he goes in for. Again, the Lifestealer and Darkseer are the standouts in the pool right now. Those are going to be your most popular picks. We have seen a large amount of popularity on Tree and Protector in the league. But of course, he did get that 6.78 nerf to Living Armor, which is cooled him off a bit. Going to go safe and standard with the Darkseer. That does leave Lifestealer for No Right Turn. Starting off with the Visage. High aggressive potential, and combined up with the Lifestealer, we got the makings of a very strong aggressive tri-lane here. They're going to need some setup, though. Some actual reliable lockdown. Only slows coming out of Lifestealer and Visage. At least until level 6 with the familiar stun. But not really relevant in the aggressive tri-lane. Level 6. If it's not decided by then that's a really odd aggressive tri-lane way on this second pick out of Sad. See what CVAC wants to go in for. Darkseer isn't really revealing a whole lot, though it does more often than not by a pretty large margin indicate an off-lane Darkseer. They may put him jungle, but that would be if they're abandoning the off-lane. You can certainly switch him into mid. You can go aggressive tri-lane and put him in the solo safe lane. He can always do well in 1v1 situations, but just by and large, it just ends up being he's so solid in that off lane. That's where he makes his home. So maybe indicating a defensive tri-lane, but that's about it. We still don't know what their overall plan is for the game. Can incorporate Darkseer into really any strategy. Mid-game oriented late, could be push, 4 protect 1, a lot of options. We're into reserve time now, not quite sure themselves, it seems like, over on Dire, on what they want to go in for. Could be seeing a Bane. I see that. That is the most common, like immediately after Lifestealer. There it is. They are going to go right for that Bane. Direct counter pick to Lifestealer. That's where you usually see them. They pick Lifestealer, we pick Bane. That's how it works. Yada yada. Fiend script. OP. Okay, now going into the next series of bans. Puck, the first ban out. So if they're going to go in for the annoying mid bans, we may be seeing an Outworld Devourer next on the chopping block for Sad. However, they could be looking at maybe wanting to run Kunkka mid. Not wanting that phase shift to avoid the Tidebringer damage, being willing to ban out these top tier mids, not having chosen one as of yet. And if they do that, they may not be afraid of the Outworld Devourer, may in fact be baiting it, wanting to go the Kunkka. But that's a lot of speculation, going out on a pretty far limb to interpret it that much this far in. But then Rubik, the other ban, they do need an additional support. I'm not sure Rubik would be the scariest one to me for No Right Turns. Potential aggressive tri-lane. It does look like Sad is going in for a defensive tri-lane with Bane and Darkseer, which means I think that's more of your concern. And if you're going to have that, some reliable lockdown, certainly Rubik has that initial lift, which can be very strong, but he has no burst at level 1. His telekinesis does no damage. So it could certainly work, and maybe that indicates more so that Sad is looking for more of a team fight based setup. And there's Anti-Mage. So again, even though you think of an Anti-Mage as a 4 protect 1 defensive tri-lane, get him that farm early, just focus everything on getting him his farm, he can handle the 1v1 with the Darkseer. You can put him solo safe lane, so I'm still betting on that aggressive tri-lane Lifestealer Visage +1.
10 seconds remaining.
And now we have to see how does CVAC respond with a Jakiro. Hyper defensive with Bane and Jakiro. And then Shadow Demon, the other selection. Did have my mental eye on him, though did not give him the proper mention. It also works as a very nice defensive block pick, not allowing the Shadow Demon to be chosen against Anti-Mage and Lifestealers. Shadow Demon excellent against both, and not going to be giving that up. They had the option, so it is a little surprising, especially given that they went in for the more defensive setup with Jakiro. Of course, Shadow Demon and Bane a little redundant, and they tend to be the setup, not the burst in a tri-lane scenario. But Jakiro also kind of in that role. Certainly, Ice Path not a reliable stun, but he's not really the big damage dealer in a tri-lane early on. So far, we do see a good amount of teamfight already. You can understand the Jakiro, though, the combination Ice Path, vacuum into it. Relatively easy big team fight stun. Luna going to be the carry selection from Sad, and that leaves them with just a mid to fill out. Both sides in that position. Outworld Devourer removed by no right turn. Not going to want to deal with that. We'll see if my prediction holds true, that they're going to run Kunkka in toward mid. Trying to take a look at the popular mids still available. And, the biggest ones, Queen of Pain, the Puck, Storm Spirit, Outworld Devourer, all out of the pool. Along with Bat Rider as well. Nyx Assassin occasionally popping up. Of course, you've got some that have fallen a little out of favor. Beastmaster, Night Stalker. I feel like I'm missing someone obvious. And we'll see if they can point what that mistake is, what that oversight is. As No Right Turn heads into reserve time. Chip the captain of No Right Turn, but Rainbow Party going to be handling the drafting in this one. And it's a little game of cat and mouse here. Both sides end up needing a mid, which means CVAC's got the world in his hands. He's got fate in his hands of No Right Turn. Can immediately pick something that he feels will go well up against it. And spending a lot of time on this one, not really sure what they want to do. I've seen Sand King pop up in mid a little bit. It was about a month ago we saw a bit of a surge, and then died out again. Can work very well as a mid counter pick. Magnus. And there's the obvious pick that was slipping my mind. Empower on Anti-Mage has been an incredible combination for a long time. And with Magnus falling a bit out of favor, it becomes much easier to get that. And Sand King, I was mentioning, works very well as a melee counter pick. However, Magnus relying a lot on shockwaves may not be the best bet. Dragon Knight, also another available hero who could do relatively well against the Magnus, but gonna go a little out of the usual with the Death Prophet. One of the least seen heroes, I'd have to say, in competitive play. And you'll see how that ends up working out. Can be very strong in that mid position, though. Crypt Swarm, low cooldown, relatively low mana cost, high damage nuke. And this should relegate the Magnus into that Bottle Crow reliant style of play, which can potentially hurt given that they're going in for the aggressive tri lane. If you're in the defensive tri lane, it's not so pertinent, it's not so urgent to get those items up, but if you're in that aggressive position and you need to upgrade your items, you need to get them shipped out, can be a problem if you're set back because you gotta wait for that slow courier to get on home with the empty bottle. But let's take a look at the teams as we're inside the game. We'll look at Sad on the Dire. Out toward mid, we have on the last pick, Death Prophet. You ain't seen my nips. Will be in mid. Standing in, Polka Bunny will be carrying as the Luna up toward the safe lane on top. CVAC will join him on the Bane. And then you have Zag standing in, playing Jakiro. Down bottom, the off lane, Alt F4 is your Dark Seer. In mid, for Radiant. And no right turn, Acer Veneer standing in on the Magnus. Up top, we've got the aggressive tri-lane as called. Chib will be playing the Shadow Demon, joined up with What's Up on the Lifestealer. And then SC2 all day, every day, on the Visage. Down bottom, solo safe lane. Up against that Darkseer, Rainbow Party will be playing Anti-Mage. Has been pooled a set of tangos, so that'll help him out early on. Really want to be aggressive on this Darkseer. Want to keep a close eye as best I can while this aggressive tri-lane is going on, because this is a matchup that Anti-Mage can do well at, but it's very tight. A lot about the execution. Can go either way. Could be very even. Could be very one-sided. So want to keep an eye on that. Often with the Darkseer 1v1, there's the mana break at level 1. Don't necessarily often see that. Normally Blink is your level 1 spell, but against the Darkseer, you want to burn that mana at every opportunity, especially early on. As we keep an eye down at the rune spot, we do have dewarding going on. And it will be Sad getting the better of that exchange. Down bottom, a lot of health traded back and forth, pooled up. Actually got a salve cancel. That's huge. And very unfortunate for Rainbow Party. However, only one set of tangos on the Darkseer, being very greedy, starting off with the Soul Ring recipe. Up top, Soul Assumption first on SC2 all day, relying on the setup out of the Disruption and not out of the Grave Chill. We have a very early shipment out. That's a very quick bottle. And an excellent start. And actually first blood down bottom. My bad. Oh, for one. I want to keep a close eye. Missed it as I checked in on the bottle heading out an incredibly quick time. So an excellent start out of Acer Veneer. But there you saw, it can go one way very quickly depending on execution. However, down to one set of tangos. If Darkseer can get up that Soul Ring, potentially could turn this around, as Rainbow Party has taken a lot of harassment damage out of the Ion Shell, burned through even all of his pooled regen. Check the rune up top, not there. Haste rune is bottom, not picked up by anyone as of yet. So far, it is Acer Veneer in mid getting the best of the CS board. Actually, you ain't seen my nips having a little bit of a problem early on, seeing on only 4 compared to the 10 on the mag. Rainbow Party doing well for himself in the last hits, and Alt F4 now in trouble, taking a lot of damage. Blink is available, blinks forward, the surge away, completely out of mana though, and no salve, no big burst regen, and he's forced back. And if he is regenning very quickly now. with 1 Tango plus the Soul Ring up, so he has that for regen. However, again, there's no burst, and now he uses a Soul Ring, could be in trouble. A couple hits, not quite enough, a quick surge away. Very low mana cost on the surge. So he is able to get it off. Flirting with death, though, and he'll be forced back home. And Tranquil's up on Rainbow Party, and that does look like the lane going one way has in fact done so. Rainbow Party taking over, forcing back the Darkseer back home. Now we take a closer look here. This aggressive tri-lane. So far, not really any action going on up here. And Feeble throwing out. No brain sap. So they're really not looking to pick up, not even considering the idea of picking up any kills. Just want to hold their opponents back. Which, if you can get your pulls off, is going to be the ticket to winning the lane. As long as you're not giving up free farm to the opposing aggressive carry, you're going to win out in experience over time. See a haste rune picked up by the Death Prophet and will immediately bottle a double damage. That's a deadly combination. A lot of harass coming out on Alt F4 as we hear that. However, in comes the hasted, soon-to-be double damage Death Prophet. Misses. Oh no, does hit with the silence, but too far away. Backs up, and Rainbow Party will be just fine. Actually going on Alt F4 as you ain't seen my nips TPing out, and Soul Assumption actually gets a kill there on Pokebunny. Dangerous burst as we catch the tail end of that one. 2-0 on the board right now for No Right Turn, off to a fine start. Pings go out as a TP. Comes in up top, throws that Elucent Beam. Ice Path over top of SC2 all day, but no chance to do that. Now gonna try and go now on Zag, the open wounds, as well as the Soul Assumption. A lot of burst once again. No way out of that one, and that's another kill up top. And after not a whole lot of action, suddenly see 2 kills back to back at No Right Turn up top as they put it all together. Next rune spawn coming up in just a moment. Going to be important as the Death Prophet been clawing her way back in after getting a little behind early on in last hits. And if she doesn't have that rune, which has spawned bottom, so it looks like she will have the opportunity if she goes there to pick that one up, but doesn't make the move. You can click on Mag and see that empty, actually doesn't have the bottle on him, he's crowing back. You can see that he hasn't used that rune, doesn't have the bottle, means he's crowing. So didn't take the rune. Up top, some action going down. Ice Path hits on Chib, they're able to get him. Ends up being a trade though, Chib for Pokebunny. At the same time, down bottom, another kill on Alt F4. Rainbow Party again has absolute control of this bottom lane. Use Mana Void to get the kill there. Rainbow Party going for the almost burning build. Gets 2 points in mana break, but has gotten a couple points in stats along the way. Haste of Veneer will bottle up the haste rune down bottom. A lot of time between the spawn and the pickup there. But happens across the rune. Shockwave goes out. Right now, no vision on the side of Sad. They do need to refresh their wards. Captain Bamboo. Faithful courier for Sad.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Kupu, the Metamorpher. Choice for no right turn.
Tower is under attack.
See, Alt F4 has been relegated to jungling. Though the sorrowful retreat of the defeated. But he'll catch up there. We'll still be able to get up his items in okay-ish time.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Doing what Darkseer does. Another disruption soul catcher, but there's no follow-up. Teammate's not in position to catch up to that one. What's up opting to max out that open wounds, and we see the change with the open wounds nerf to the builds that come out of Lifestealers. Starting to see a lot more early points in open wounds instead of maxing out rage, because the initiation on the slow is just so valuable. The haste is used here, diving on tier 1. Acer does get the kill using reverse polarity to lock down the Death Prophet. Rotation around here. Chib throws down a ward to block the pull camp. Will give some vision as well. However, not the most cleverly placed once they realize that's not... The camp isn't spawning, though. We do have a disruption. Completely surrounded. Ice Path goes over top. Open Wounds is there with the Soul Catcher. A ton of damage. And that's another death for Pokebunny. That's the third in the game. 0-3-1. And just not the start that he wants. And it's the Anti-Mage on top of the board at 49 last hits. Normally not necessarily quite up to where you'd want to be at Anti-Mage at 10 minutes, but in a solo safe lane situation where he has two solo kills on his lane opponent, got to be loving the result there. Now left with a free farm lane. All to himself, doesn't even have to worry about pulls, can push down the tower at his leisure. Invis Rune bottled up by Acer Veneer. There's a Nightmare out on Chib, going to go for the surround. You ain't see my nips is there, throws out the Crypt Swarm. Nothing he can do. Chib brought down 5-man up top for that one. Able to help bring it back in their favor. With level 6, looks like they're going to look to push down this tier 1 top. I would expect, since everybody's here, they've got Exorcism available. TP back in out of Chib. But 3v5 with Exorcism here early on, going to be very hard to hold this tower. Not using it yet. There it goes. Another TP in. Here comes some support. They're going to try and hold this as the fortification is used. In comes Rainbow Party. Reverse polarity on 4. Skewer back of everyone. Over top Mana Void. Right click down. Pokemon goes down. Disruption goes out to buy some time. You ain't seen my nips. Alt F4 trying to surge away, but will be brought down. Double kill there. Rainbow Party. Killing spree for him. Full team wipe on the side of no right turn on the back of an Invis. Invis reverse polarity on 4 over top of the entirety of Sad, and that's a sad day indeed for them, as the 5-man push turns into a 5-man wipe. Going to be going back the other direction now with this push. We'll see if they're able to have any more luck with this tier 1 top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
TPs go in towards mid, so not committing to stopping this, so this should be the tier 1 for no right turn. Fortification is used, 3R rotating in. Eclipse is not available, not level 6 yet. That's gotta hurt. The Bane is actually out leveling him right now.
Tower has fallen.
And Chib out in no man's land, being brought down by 3. And there's the Fiend's Grip out on Acer Veneer. Eclipse now used as Pokebunny hits level 6. Doesn't do nearly as much damage as he was hoping. Level 3 Lucent Beam, and doesn't get wasn't quite in the position to hit all of those beams. Acer spotted out though, and he will be brought down in the side shop. Pings out on the familiars, but they'll be retreating back behind the safety of this tier 1 tower. May not be safe for long though, as now the push comes back the other way. They did lose their tier 1, but they're not going to let it be just that. No sir, tit for tat it will be.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And Nip's gonna take that one. As they're gonna continue on to the tier 2. May be a bit ambitious though. But Exorcism's still up, just gonna poke and now back off. Chasing though, Purge goes out on Pokebunny, the surge away, but no, the Nightmare! Some miscommunication there, Pokebunny in trouble, Soul Assumption, but it looks like she will get away. They're gonna now focus on Seavac instead. Seavac brought down, there's one kill. Another Soul Assumption. Again, bit of miscommunication, blocked by the disruption, but Alt F4 locked in place and brought down. 2 kills there on the retreat. Not far enough away, overextended. Rainbow Party chasing, but not able to quite get the job done there on Pokebunny, who will limp back to base at 84 HP. Zag holding on to a smoke. Hasn't had the opportunity to make use of that as of yet. Rainbow Party running in, but not quite so bold as of yet to be diving on that tower on his own lonesome. Have a ward-giving vision here of Roche, which could be coming up as a target, even though it's relatively early on in power. Could help burst that down relatively quickly, especially if we see a medallion out on Visage, but just going to be working on the mech to begin with. Chib TPing in toward mid. He's got a couple wards on him, looking to get up his own vision of this Roche area. There we go in the bottom rune. Exorcism going out to try and push this tier 1 mid. The Blake in reverse polarity on 1. Shockwave hits 2. Gonna get Seavac. No. Ice Pass slows him down. Acer Veneer goes low. Brought down by the Macro Pyre. Seavac actually going to get away. You ain't seen my nips up a little far, but man fighting. Look out. Rainbow Party blinks in. Haste Rune is there, so the open wound's not able to help. Gonna have to turn around. And Nip's going to get away. And ultimately, out of the Nake's Bomb. The only casualty, Acer Veneer on the Magnus. Good turnaround there out of SAD, what they need to be doing to help bring this game back to equilibrium. A little behind right now, 15 minutes in. We're looking at, it was hitting 5,000, the gold advantage, 7,500 the experience. We see a little trickle back down the other direction now. But got to keep those successes rolling.
Invisibility.
Invis sniped by Rainbow Party. That'll be a bit of annoyance there for Nips on the Death Prophet, wanting to refill that bottle. No such luck. Chib again hanging around toward mid. A little light on the HP. Got to be careful there. Shockwave over top to deter the pull. Exorcism not available. Will come up in another 15 seconds, but does not have the mana. No bottle charges to regen that up. Pokebunny been having a tough time in this one. Just sitting on treads and a ring of Aqualove right now. 1,100 gold in the bank. Likely going in for a BKB next. So could just be seeing the Ogre Club at any moment. Often you're going to want it with the treads a bit more in terms of sustainability for farming. Helm of the Dominator, stack up those Ancients, but at this point in the game really needs some survivability to help it out in these fights, because the free farm time isn't really there. And adding the Helm before the BKB may just be too long to make proper effective use out of it. It is a conundrum though, up against an Ancient who does have his Battle Fury along with those Tranquil Boots. Did not opt in for the poor man's shield. They necessarily make the most sense. Reverse polarity, blink in on 3. The infest pops out. There's 1 dead. Only able to get 1 so far. Fiend's Grip goes out on What's Up under the tier 2 tower. Will this get turned around? What's Up does go down. Now the Eclipse does a lot of damage. Acer trying to get away as he's pursued by the 2 supports. While that's happening, Pokebunny gets a kill out on SC2 all day on the Visage. Cvax still chasing on Acer Veneer, but now out too far. Chib will find him out. Soul Catcher as well. Acer Veneer is back. There's the Shockwave over top. The Familiar is going to get the last hit there. Pokebunny rotating in, not able to help out. Familiars are around, looking to try and snipe some gold. Could be a bait though. Got to be careful. Shockwave again doing a bit of damage. Stun does miss though. And playing chicken here on both sides, 2v2. And both decide it's time to back off. Closing in on 2,000 gold now on Pokebunny. Still interested in seeing what he opts to go in for. Up top, What's Up? Catching up on his farm, working on an armlet. Very close to having that done. May actually have enough gold. Can't really calculate in my head right now. Too much excitement going on elsewhere as we have a push headed toward the tier 1 bottom. It is rough that they're forced into these situations where they're having to 5-man to push down a tier 1 tower. Pings go out. Rainbow Party holding down the fort for the moment. Got to be very careful. He's all on his lonesome. And they'll just end up giving up that tier 1 tower. At the same time, though, push goes out on the tier 2 tower looking for a trade. Both sides going to look to trade. Sad want to get their own tier 2, but I don't think they'll be able to do it. TP Scrolls, Status, all 3 here pushing the tier 2, have them available. What's Up does have them available, in fact 2 on him. So the TPs can't come in. There's the Fortify. Where are the teleports? There's a couple teleports. Grip Swarm thrown out. Ice Path hits on 3. Are they going to back up or are they going to fight? Eclipse not available for another 25 seconds. I think that indicates that they really need to back off. And that's what they're starting to do, but maybe taking too long with that. But now they've managed to clear out of range before the pursuit happens. And they will be able to get away. Blink forward from Rainbow Party. But not gonna... Is anything gonna come of it? He does blink forward, traps him a little bit in the trees. He doesn't have any lockdown on his own though, so not going to get the opportunity to bring down Zag. And now going to look, no right turn to turn this into a Roche. As we see, Sad was holding down the fort a bit, but starting to pick up where they left off with this advantage is no right turn, and continuing that is the Roche. And seemingly unaware is Sad that this is going on, and it will just be too late, as that's an Aegis the way of Rainbow Party. Is up to around 2,000 gold himself. Pokebunny has just opted for a Yasha for the time being. That will help him with mobility, will help him a bit with farming. Has opted in for maxing glaives before getting the additional points in Lunar Blessing. It's one of the 2 different angles I see come out of Luna. Sometimes you see exactly what Pokebunny is doing and what I personally prefer, which is getting those glaives after 2 points in Lunar Blessing. But sometimes you see go 4-4 and then get the glaives. Which normally for farming that's better, as Anti-Mage takes down that tier 2 tower. But in fights is not necessarily as great, so the intent may have been messed up a little bit here. Certainly Pokebunny was hoping for more farm than he's been given space to get. 87 last hits is second on the board right now, but for net worth, tops of his team, but 4th on the overall scoreboard. As Darkseer has hit level 11, so that level 2 wall up and running. One more level for the max out on the vacuum as well. So with that point being hit, the team fight does take a nice big jump
Tower is under attack.
for Sad. Next bomb is there. Ice Path goes out on Chib, up a little too far. Now Disruption goes out on Pokebunny. Not going to be any follow-up initially. Gets off the Eclipse as he's being focused down by Visage. There's the Mana Void, goes out, brings down Zag, but now the Fiend's Grip holds Rainbow Party in place, brings down the Aegis. However, at the same time, it's being brought down, and back comes Rainbow Party, full health, full mana versus Polarity, held off all the way up to that point, and that's going to help them get those last 2 kills. Full team wipe, 5 for 2. With the cores all surviving, just the 2 supports lost by no right turn, and this is going to be damage out on the tier 3. In fact, GG called, no right turn, taking the first game in strong fashion.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And that's pretty much all lanes won. And the victory just comes naturally from there. Rainbow Party leading the way, first blood down bottom, 604 on the board. Tops in terms of last hits, gold per minute, all the way across the board, looking good. And leading his team to victory in this one. No right turn takes it. They're up 1-0. Game 2 of this best of 2 coming up in just a moment.